What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, amidst our upcoming game against the Washington Wizards, there was actually an article that came out. I believe it's by a place called the Windy City, and it basically suggests that there could be 4 players leaving Chicago in this upcoming year, the 2025 season, or maybe, I guess, the off-season even. So, let's go through the players that are on this list. I think some of them are predictable, some of them may not be so predictable, and discuss whether or not I truly see them leaving the Chicago Bulls in 2025. Now, this is not necessarily if I want them to leave, it's if I think they will leave the Chicago Bulls in 2025. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, put the seatbelts on, get ready for the show. Let's discuss 4 players that are from the Chicago Bulls in this video. Before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about which of these players do you see leaving the Chicago Bulls in 2025. Now, keep in mind, I'm sure they have their own reasons, but I'm not necessarily going to reflect too much on their reasons. I'm going to go based on my own opinions because I have my own reasons why these players may be going or may be staying. So the first one on the list is going to be the center for the Chicago Bulls, Nikola Vucevic. There is a number of reasons why Vucevic could be leaving the Chicago Bulls this season, and I personally think out of everybody on the list that we're about to mention, Nikola Vucevic is the most likely to leave. Number 1, I think his contract is somewhat friendly. $20 million per season, around there. I think he has a season or 2 left on his contract as well. It is definitely a friendly contract, and I do believe teams would be interested in Nikola Vucevic, considering how well he's been playing this season. He's been better in the paint. His 3-point shooting has been better this season for the most part. Altogether, he's been a better overall player. He's done massive things for our offense. He's been a big contributor on the assist numbers. So he's played well this season. And I think teams, especially out west, I've been saying this for ages, I think he would suit a team so well out west. And I hope that's where he does go if he does leave the Chicago Bulls, because he has talents that will suit that conference. So yeah, a team-friendly deal. He's playing very well this season. And ultimately, he said in quotes that this was the last chance for this team to do something. So that kind of strikes to me as someone that the Bulls could end up seeing trade. You know, they could trade him in the end. I know we traded DeRozan and Caruso, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't trade Nikola Vucevic either. So I think everything makes sense. And you know what? Another thing to add to that, I don't think we're going to ask too much for Nikola Vucevic in a trade package. Maybe we can pair him up with somebody else and get a bigger deal in return. But hypothetically, if we trade Nikola Vucevic on his own, I don't see us demanding too much for him because of his years, his age, the contract that he's on. And the fact that we might be really trying to go younger. I really, really believe that there is a team out there that would want Nikola Vucevic and could give us a deal for Nikola Vucevic. So far so good. First player in. Yeah, I do see Nikola Vucevic leaving this season in 2025. Whether it's this season or in the off-season, I do see it happening. Number 2, and of course, this guy was always going to be on the list as well, Zachary LaVine. Zach LaVine potentially leaving the Chicago Bulls in 2025. Now, I would also put this down as a likely outcome, but there could be a very big reason why there is not a likely outcome of this happening. And that reason is that no one will be able to match what we are asking for Zach LaVine. The Chicago Bulls are historically known for demanding a lot in trade packages, especially with this new regime. When we wanted to trade Alex Caruso, we wanted 2 first-round picks. And even when we got those 2 first-round picks from a certain team, it still wasn't good enough. In the end, we traded him for Josh Giddey because we had to finally make a change. DeMar DeRozan, we wanted so much for DeMar DeRozan in a trade return. And in the end, we traded him for Chris Duarte, who hasn't played much for this team whatsoever. I don't know where Chris Duarte is actually. But nonetheless, you get the drift, right? We ask and ask and ask for so much, and in the end, we have to sell low because our demands at the moment are too high. So as long as the Bulls keep their high demands for Zach LaVine, there is a solid chance that no one is going to be able to meet those demands. So that's a key reason why he could stay with the Chicago Bulls. But ultimately, it does make sense for him to go. For starters, his agent has said publicly Zach LaVine wants to leave. I know Zach LaVine has vocally said he wants to stay. He signed a long-term deal here. He's happy here. And he's done very well in terms of showing that as well. And you know what? I respect Zach LaVine a lot for keeping this professional in every single way possible with his own mouth. Maybe actions are different, but the way that he's been speaking about the Bulls, speaking about his future, speaking to fans about his future, I very much respect how Zach LaVine is handling this current situation. But his agent has spoken, and sometimes that is hard to ignore. So that makes it a big reason. I think that's a big reason why Zach LaVine wants to be traded. The second reason is there has been numerous conversations about how the Bulls and LaVine's relationship has not been very strong recently. If you can't have a solid foundation with your best player, there is an issue there, in my opinion. Now, I don't think we truly know the answer to the relationship between Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls. All we know is that reports suggest that it's broken down. And if that's the case, more likely than not, you will see the Bulls try to ship Zach LaVine in the future. The third reason, his money is way too much. And if the Bulls are really going to try to go younger and start this rebuild, we can't keep on board someone that is going to, A, impact winning. I don't care what anybody says. Zach LaVine is impacting us winning games at this point. Two, someone making a lot of money, we could use that money to go get younger talent. And at the end of the day, I think the Bulls would very much take a 1 year of a bad contract to get rid of a 4-year bad contract, if you know what I mean. So it makes sense that Zach LaVine is in this list. But honestly, look, I know I've said I think we could get a good trade for Zach LaVine this season. Maybe it's just I have a different opinion every day about this. I don't think we're going to trade Zach LaVine this season. I think you're more likely going to see a trade this offseason. Look, historically, once again, the Bulls don't make big trades. I know we got rid of 2 players this offseason with Caruso and DeRozan, but we needed a lot more than that, and we got the bare minimum, in my opinion. We got rid of 2 guys out of a whole team that probably needed to go in the end. So, and Drummond as well, but Drummond was more of his choice. Either way, whatever the case may be, you know, I can see the Bulls staying stagnant with Zach LaVine this offseason, until the offseason. But yeah, I think it just changes every day. Maybe the more reports that go by, the more that we have an opinion on it. We'll see. There's still a lot of time left. Maybe the Bulls could surprise us. It will definitely be a surprise to me if we trade him before the offseason. The third person on this list is Josh Giddey. Now, I understand why Josh Giddey's on this list. Basically because he's on his last year of his rookie deal. He's seeking a lot of money in his extension. Maybe the Bulls don't want to pay it. Therefore, Josh Giddey could be out of the Chicago Bulls. But I don't think Josh Giddey's going anywhere. And it's as simple as this. AK said it himself. When you trade for a guy like Josh Giddey, you trade for him with the intention to keep him long term. He said that in a quote in a press conference after trading for Josh Giddey. So his words have to mean something there. Maybe if Josh Giddey's seeking $50 million a season, fair enough. You don't re-sign him. But at the end of the day, we have control over that. It's restricted free agency. So unless a team comes in with ridiculous money, I can't see Josh Giddey going anywhere for the Bulls. It looks like he's happy here. He's playing well here. The Bulls seem to be happy with him, and the Bulls want to keep him long term. There's no reason why Josh Giddey should be on this list, in my opinion, but I understand why he could be on this list. Last but not least, Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is on this list, and you know what? I have an interesting take on Lonzo Ball. Everybody is already assuming Lonzo Ball is going to be gone by the end of the season. I'm not necessarily convinced on that. Here's the reasons why. Number one, I think Lonzo Ball could be very vital to how we play in the near future. When you have playmaking guards on your team, that's hard to come by in this generation of the NBA. Everybody wants to shoot. Even Lonzo Ball likes to shoot the 3. But when you get someone that's so good in transition and can make things happen with the playmaking side of things, you don't want to get rid of that straight away. So that's the first reason why I'm hesitant to say Lonzo Ball will leave in this season. Number 2, I think both parties are waiting it out. I think Lonzo Ball is waiting it out because he probably believes he could get back to his best, and that will give him more money and more leverage in the NBA offseason. And I think the Bulls are waiting because they want to see how Lonzo Ball does, how many games he plays, whether or not he can get back healthy, before they make a big decision on his future and offer him that team-friendly deal. So, two parties waiting doesn't necessarily mean there's two parties that are not going to connect and re-sign. I do think in the right moment, you could see Lonzo Ball back here with the Chicago Bulls. Is it likely? Honestly, I think it's 50-50. I think it's a 50-50 chance we can bring Lonzo Ball back this season. I think he would want to stay if we did re-sign him. And at the end of the day, it's just about what the Bulls' intentions are and how much money Lonzo Ball is seeking. So that's 4 players, ladies and gentlemen. And I think 3 of them have a valid reason to be on this list. I don't think Josh Giddey should be on this list whatsoever. Do you agree? Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.